Guys, I'm here with another American horror movie, Double Walker. I used to think, in every horror movie, the ghost must be the villain. But after watching this movie, I even feel a little bit sorry for this ghost. Anyway, let's not talk nonsense. Please follow my explanation and savor it slowly. The story begins with a family celebrating Christmas, but I don't know what's wrong. Husband starts arguing with wife. He also pushed his wife down with force. The girl on the side is very afraid, so she ran to the room and locked the door, since the girl has not opened the door and he's going to break it with a stick. But this is the moment. The girl just opened the door and came out. The father killed his daughter with the stick. The camera turns. Father gave the girl a grand funeral was held, but the next morning the girl woke up in her room and her body has also grown by more than 10 years. She can't wear her childhood clothes anymore. The young woman casually wore a short sleeve, come to a forest. At the same time, she met a man while walking on the mountain here. The man asked her if it wasn't cold to wear so little. Take off your big padded jacket and give it to the young woman to wear. But this man is not a good person either, under the guise of sending the young woman to the hospital. He drove the car directly to his house. He also said that the air conditioner in his house works well. It feels good to blow. Then the man made the young woman a cup of tea. Then he took a fleece sweater and offered to help the young woman replace it, and the young woman on the opposite side did not refuse. She also cooperated very well to let the man take off her clothes. Seeing this, the man couldn't help but touch it. Then the young woman suddenly grabbed the man's hand, pushed him onto the sofa next to her. At this time, the young woman even danced. The man thought this was playing with him, but this is the moment. The young woman suddenly took out a cup with an iron spoon in her hand, stuck it into his throat while the man was not paying attention. After finishing, she drank a mouthful of tomato juice with enjoyment on her face. After the police received the report and came to the man's house, but they can't find any clues to the murderer. The only thing found at the scene was the little girl's DNA, but she was pronounced dead a few days ago. This confused the police. The screen changes, the ghost starts looking for crime targets on the street again. This time she has her eye on an office worker, but after following for a while, a voice stopped her. A voice from behind asked her if she wasn't cold. Dressed like that, he also offered to invite her to sit in the house. The routine is exactly the same as that man. The ghost sees that the office worker has lost even more, so she simply targeted Jack. Jack is the owner of a movie theater, and better for people than that man after getting the young woman another dress. He didn't offer to replace her clothes. I don't know if he has the heart or the guts. The young woman deliberately asked Jack to bring her home. But after making her a cup of tea, Jack said that he has to go to work tomorrow and go to bed first, because the ghost can't find a reason to kill Jack. She went out and found the office worker again. Office workers still think about washing their cars, have a date with her, but after the car leaves, the car wash. The office worker was slashed to death, and the police were also unable to find a suspect. Only the little girl's DNA was found in the car. Time soon came to night when the ghost passes by. A house found a family of 3 eating dinner inside, and she was very happy, and she wants to live like a human. The camera turns. Jack, who had just closed after work, found the young woman sitting in front of the cinema. He asked where she went last night. Why didn't you talk to him? He says something, but she doesn't answer. And she also asked Jack a question. Say if you live forever like a ghost or live like a human, only one day, what do you do? Jack did not hesitate to choose the latter. He said that if you were like a ghost, he can't take care of his favorite movie theater, and he can't see his dad. I can't even sit here and talk to you. It turns out that the girl was knocked to death by her father. Her soul went to hell. Death gave her a choice between 2 options. One of them, the girl chose to live forever like a ghost because she once spent one night. She found out that her father was hiding it from her mother with 3 friends. And some women came into the house, and something unspeakable happened. After that, her father asked the girl not to tell her mother. After this incident, the girl decides in her heart to kill all the bad guys in the world. So she chose to be a ghost. Then Jack asked her what plans she had for tonight. She said no. Jack brings her, came to a friend's birthday party. Then Jack got drunk, but she hasn't finished drinking yet. So after sending Jack home, she came to a tavern alone again. Just then, a burly man walked over. She remembers. He was one of the men her father invited to that party at home. Then the strong man said to her obscenely, "How much does it cost to get in his car?" She just smiled and didn't speak. The camera turns. The strong man took her to the hotel. As soon as he entered the house, the strong man took off his clothes in a hurry. He also put his mobile phone on the bedside and said he wanted to record it on his phone. Then she took the initiative to push the strongman onto the bed. The strongman still thinks, "Are girls so wild these days?" The next second, an iron spoon was stabbed into his throat, just as she was sucking tomato juice. The door was suddenly opened and one of the janitors saw this. She chased after him directly. The cleaners also fled quickly, just past a steep slope. She suddenly rushed over and stabbed him with an iron spoon, and then the janitor dies. She dragged the body into a haystack, but the next morning the police still found the body. At this time, Jack is taking her to watch a wrestling match. Jack said his father would come later. Go and say hello to your friends first. Then he took out a photo of his father with his mobile phone. Said that if she saw him, she would wave her hand. Then Jack left. But when she looks at his phone, she finds the man in the photo. It turns out to be the cleaner she killed last night. She completely panicked, and the police also called at this time. To tell Jack that his father was killed, she repented after hearing it. She had actually killed the father of the person she loved. So she returned to the other world again and begged Death to make a new choice. She wants to be reborn as a human being, even an hour is enough. Then Death agreed to her request. Then she woke up in her room again. She went down the stairs. She found herself on Christmas Day. Then her father pushed her mother to the ground. The young girl was so frightened that she hid in the room. Just when her father was about to hit with the club, the grown young woman grabbed the stick. Then the grown young woman glanced at the girl. She pushed her father into a room. Soon the sound of fighting came from inside. When the girl opens the door and runs in to check, seeing the grown young woman make a gesture to her, telling her not to speak, and the grown young woman's fingers are covered in blood. When the girl touches his body to check, she found out that her father had been knocked to death, and in the end, it was originally the girl. The funeral eventually became her father's funeral. End of story. The man walked his dog back home as usual. Jack closed the cinema to end the day. The office worker finished washing his car in the car wash. The strong man also returned to the hotel alone and was ready to go to bed. It's as if it never happened. It's just that the dead person became the girl's father, so the movie ends.